Thanks for hanging out with us here on The Big Picture. Right now, we are joined by Doug Wolf, the CEO of Adaptive Sports Connection, along with Jen Swift. You are a physical therapist over at the OSU Wexner Medical Center's Limb Restoration Program. Both of you, thanks so much for coming in. And first off, I do want to talk about Boundless Freedom, which is this 2-day camp really hosted for veterans and their families. What makes it so special?
Yeah, first I'll tell you, adaptive sports, our mission is to eliminate barriers through adaptive innovation. And we provide recreational sports for people with disabilities and veterans. And Boundless Freedom is one of our favorite weekends of the year, where we welcome in hundreds of veterans and their families to participate in outdoor activities, kayak, cycling, ski, fly fishing, those types of things, not just to experience the benefits of recreation, but to start to build community.
And Jen, how does the limb restoration program fit into all of this?
So we know that people who participate in adaptive sports have lasting improvements in their overall quality of life. That's including improved self-confidence, higher satisfaction with their life, and greater likelihood for employment, and even lower levels of depression and anxiety. So one of the things that we focus on during rehabilitation is identifying, what are those individuals' hobbies? What are their interests? And how can we keep them active as they continue to recover? Adaptive Sports Connection is the perfect partner to kind of get people out, get them either, doing a new sport or maybe doing a sport differently than what they did before. And they do it in such a fun and safe environment that it really piques people's interest and keeps them moving.
Mm-hmm.
And looking back, where did the idea for Boundless Freedom, for Adaptive Sports Connection come from? Why is this so important?
Yeah, our organization goes back to 1992 when a group of volunteers and one of our primary founders, Steve Ricker, identified an opportunity not just for folks with disabilities to participate in sports, but the idea that it can build a community around that. And veterans in particular have lived a life of service, and this becomes an opportunity for us to serve them. But they also reconnect in the camaraderie they're missing and test those limits that they're used to testing in the past.
How does adaptive sports like horseback riding, kayaking, all of that really improve veterans' well-being?
Yeah, well, it improves everybody's well-being, I think. And the first step is, for some, is it simply gives you practice re-engaging in life, right? Getting out of the house and connecting with others. But for many of these folks, they've been told for a long time, these are things you can't do any longer. And so our whole idea is that we can kind of test limitations, but also discover what's possible and rediscover what's possible following an injury or a disability.
Is there a particular story that sticks out to you?
Yeah, I think back even to this winter, we have a similar event called Boundless Hope on the Slopes, where we have a veteran ski weekend, snow ski. And we had a veteran who at the age of 20 bought a pair of skis and never used them, and then was off to the Korean War. And this year, at the age of 95, vision impaired, he skied for the first time. And standing at the bottom of the hill, I saw two things, reflections from the goggles and a huge smile. And it was quite incredible.
Yeah. That is incredible.
And when it comes to being able to have these kinds of experiences and some of the work that you do, how important is it to, for your patients to have this experience of, I can do this, when it comes to whether that be rehabilitation, physical therapy work? How much does the mind play into being able to get past that final hurdle?
I think just seeing that initial step that this might be possible. No one has gone through their injury before. So everything is new as they're going through the rehabilitation and their recovery. So the more that we can introduce to people what is possible, and it may be different than what you think it is, but you're still doing that sport. You're getting out and you're being active. And just that initial, is huge. I never knew this was out here. I didn't know that this was possible. And then we have people that join the program and are out there every weekend, or they decide that they're going to be competitive athletes again and move on to that next step. It's amazing.
That's amazing. So there's still spots available, correct?
Yeah, we have, I think, nearly 130 registered, and we can take many more. So they can head to our website at adaptivesportsconnection.org and register there.
Okay, and it's for veterans and their families.
And their families and their children. There'll be a vendor village with opportunities to get food and coffee, whatever you want, activities for the kids, and sports for everybody to participate
And
in.
so this is August 7th through 8th.
Correct.
Why is it a 2-day event?
Because we want to engage people multiple days, right?
Absolutely.
We do have people coming from across the state, and I think actually last year we served people from about 14 different states. So they're coming from across the country, and we fund the rooms for them, and we really want to eliminate the barrier of cost. And I do believe that coming for a one-time event is great, but the further we can extend it, the greater the chance we have to create a sense of belonging, and people will begin to return.
Jen, when you're out there with these veterans, what is it like seeing the joy back on their face, doing things they maybe once loved?
It's heartwarming. I mean, it's one of the best things that you can see. I mean, what we do as a profession in therapy is just try and keep people physically active, and to just watch people kind of get to that point. I mean, that just makes what we do totally worth it.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for coming on.
Yeah, thank
Anything
you.
else you'd like to say?
No, I just appreciate having us on, and thanks for supporting us. And if there's an opportunity, we're driven by people. So our volunteers and donors drive the work we do, and we appreciate them.
I guess that is is there still a need for volunteers for this upcoming 7th and 8th? Can people still get involved?
Yeah, I think there's always a need for volunteers. And I will tell you this, I would put our volunteers against any in the country, not just because of they show up consistently, but the way they invest in our athletes and our organization and each other is incredible. So we consider volunteers part of the intervention, so to speak. So I think they benefit just as much as our athletes do.